Today we will turn our attention to three new aspects of the school budget. You may recall that in our last video, we examined the basics, including expenses, revenue, and elements of the tax levy limitation. In this video, let's take a look at three more aspects of the school budget: fund balance, reserves, and sharing of resources with neighboring school districts. Okay, so let's begin with the concept of fund balance. Think of it this way. In your own effort to create a family budget, you may find that there is some extra money left over at the end of the month, or better yet, at the end of a particular year. When the money you make, or the revenue, exceeds the amount you pay, or expenses, you have what is the equivalent of a fund balance. You can use this to offset expenses in an upcoming month, or the year ahead, but common sense would suggest that you may not be able to count on these additional funds forever. So it would be wise to be careful about how you may choose to use such funds. In Southold, one way that we have managed our finances is to use these year-end monies to lower the levy for the subsequent school year. Here is how fund balance has been used in this way for each of the past 4 years. There is another way that surplus at the end of a given year may be utilized. This would be to place the money in a variety of reserves. There are several types of reserves that school districts may establish. Each reserve has its own set of rules and guidelines for establishment, funding, and use. Let's take a look at two types of reserves: the repair reserve and the capital reserve. In Southold, when we have found things that needed to be repaired, we used funds from the repair reserve. Though it is similar, a capital reserve is used when it goes beyond the scope of a repair. A great example of this is our roof. As you can see, part of the roof is slate, and after 75 years it needs to be replaced and not repaired. Now let's look at another portion of the roof system. As we can now see, there's a large portion of flat roof. This too needs to be replaced. All told, the projected cost of $1.9 million is taken from a capital reserve rather than bonding the work and paying more for interest on the loan, which would lead to a higher tax levy. Finally, let's consider ways that the school budget can be built by sharing resources. With some sports programs and ROTC, we have done this quite effectively for some time. Basically, as a small school district, if we want more opportunities for our student population, sometimes it makes sense to share the cost with a neighboring school district. With the 2013-14 budget, we seek to expand this practice by sharing the cost of the position of Director of Student Achievement and Educational Technology with the Greenport School District. Rather than each district having its own person, both districts will share the cost and derive mutual benefit. Although it can be a complicated process, I hope you have a better sense of how these elements play a part in developing school district budgets. If you ever want to discuss the school budget in any greater detail, please feel free to stop by and visit the school district office located in the high school on Oak Lawn Avenue.